bomb brought down that plane?
I don't think we know yet. Whenever you've got a plane crash, first of all, you got the tragedy. You've got the making sure that there's an investigation on site. I think there is a possibility that there was a bomb on board, and we're taking that very seriously.
Well, of course, as we've already told you today, breaking just before we took to air, investigators reportedly have determined that this was not an accident, that the black box indicates and the cockpit recordings indicate that this was an explosion, an unexpected explosion, and that all signs point to the fact that this was a bomb. Joining us now is Mohannad Sabry, journalist, Sinai researcher, and author of Sinai, Egypt's Linchpin, Gaza's Lifeline, Israel's Nightmare. There it is on your television screen. And welcome in, Mohannad. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Likewise.
All right. So based on the news of the day, and when you combine that with the fact that Russia has now halted flights in and out of Egypt, and that the U.S. is stepping up, screening at certain foreign airports when passengers board those flights, where are we?
Well, we're in a very tough situation. I mean, all the evidence that we're seeing, all the signals that we're seeing are consolidating the theory that there was a bomb on board. Now, we have not seen any of the results of the forensic tests that are happening. The experts on the ground doing their job have not given us any results yet, and the Egyptian and the Russian authorities who are leading this investigation are not giving us any information or detailed information. But everything is pretty much empowering the theory that there was a bomb on board, which is a very terrifying theory.
Well, the fact, when I heard today that Russia was doing what they were doing after they insisted, along with Egypt, that there was no evidence that this was a bomb, certainly no evidence at the time that they were saying, hey, we don't think it's a bomb. Putin said it was an overreaction to say it's a bomb. Even Obama yesterday in that clip you just heard, after we heard that U.S. intelligence believes it's a bomb, Obama says, well, maybe it could have been. But now with this news today, combined with the actions of the U.S. government, as I stated, and Russia with the flights, it seems like this is it. So if this was a bomb, and let's work on that premise based on everything we've ascertained to this point, how safe, let's talk about that region and ISIS. How big a threat are they to continue these kinds of actions in that region and, by the way, throughout Europe or wherever they have, internet influence support?
Well, they have proven themselves as a very sophisticated, very powerful terrorist organization. They have put themselves as the most powerful, most lethal branch of ISIS outside of Syria and Iraq. And they have, over the past few years, they have led some of the most sophisticated and unprecedented terrorist attacks in Egypt. They have reached the very complicated security levels and infiltrated them. They led assassination attempts against the interior minister. This one failed, but two others against an undercover counterterrorism officer and the prosecutor general were successful terrorist attacks, and they killed both of them. Now, those are unprecedented attacks in the history of Egypt and in the past few years, given the great number of terrorist attacks that we've seen on the ground. And this definitely puts this terrorist branch of ISIS at pretty much the top of any international branch the organization has declared as an official affiliate. As for the Egyptian regime, it has continued with a policy of claiming that it's succeeding in its war on terror. It is having everything under control gradually, but what we see happening one day after the other tells us a completely different story.
All right, well, how about, I'm sorry to interrupt because we had a minute and a half left. How about, you talk about in your book, what the Sinai is to Egypt, what it is to the people in Gaza, and what it is to Israel, and what it means to the region. ISIS, threatens to disrupt all of this. How about some kind of coalition, if there's not already something going on behind the scenes between Israel and Egypt, and even the Saudis and Jordan and any of the countries that could be really disrupted and harmed by ISIS?
Well, you have to understand and put in mind that this region is a very exceptional region in terms of transparency and the flow of information. Egypt has had security cooperation deals with Israel and the United States and different other countries for years, for decades, as a matter of fact, since the Camp David Peace Accords in 1978. We share borders with Israel, we share borders with the Gaza Strip, and we have the Suez Canal right on the west bank of the Sinai Peninsula, and those are all international interests. Is there solid, real, and sophisticated cooperation in this war on terror? I believe it's not at the level it should be, and I believe it's not as coordinated as we all imagine it to be.
Okay. Well, 10 seconds. Will it be? Can it be?
It depends on how Egypt decides to further enhance its tactics.
Right. Mohannad, we'll have you back, sir. And the book Sinai by there he is. Yes. All right. The book is there. Thank you, Mohannad. Appreciate it very much. We're coming back, folks, with more. Don't go away.